Hello there, you're watching The Pulse on the Joy News channel. This afternoon, illegal miner invades the Tano Anya Forest Reserve, destroying lands as big as 7 football fields. We have details as the effects are telling on the ground, plus a preview of 2024 focusing on the environment. We have the latest for you. Also, political scientists is warning governing New Patriotic Party against the protection of incumbent MPs as he demands a fair playing ground for aspirants. We have an update from the centres on day 2 of that exercise. And we'll get you the latest. If you've been concerned about the rising cost of living, brace yourself for another heartbreak. The cost of laying the dead to rest. We'll get you more here on The Pulse, brought to you by Global Communities Dignity Lu Affordable Safe Sanitation. It's always a pleasure to be with you. We're on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, on Facebook, YouTube, and myjoyonline.com. I am blessed to join you. It's independent, fearless, and credible. Welcome to The Pulse. And thanks for joining us. Head of Political Science Department at the University of Ghana, Professor Lidu Seidu, is cautioning the governing New Patriotic Party against deliberate attempts to frustrate aspirants contesting incumbent MPs. According to him, the party risks deepening the cracks ahead of the general elections with such action. He cited the chaos that erupted in Bimbala, where a sole contender to contest the Defence Minister, Dominic Nitiwo, which actually moved into an area of matters relating to disqualification of that contender of the minister. In fact, we'll be getting you that sound shortly, but it's a good time now to cross over to the Ashanti region where my colleague Nana Yao Bache Yadom is joining us live from the vetting grounds. Nana Yao, just bring us up to speed with what's been happening ever since, activities started today.
The vetting for day 2, the aspirants who are seeking to become members of parliament on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party began at exactly 8:30 a.m. This morning. We've picked information on ground that we are being told that the vetting process is going to end today. And so the process to the main election to elect parliamentary candidates for the New Patriotic Party would come to an end today. So the vetting process we are expecting to end today. The first day, we were at the Asokwa constituency, where Member of Parliament for Adansi Asokwa, Katie Hammond, passed through the vetting process, and also Energy Minister Matthew Opoku Prempe also passed through the vetting process. The first day, we did witness some issues, some petitions coming through, filed against Mr. Same Bimfo Dakwa. That is a petition from the Honourable Member of Parliament for Adansi Asokwa, Katie Hammond, and some 14 executives of the Adansi Asokwa constituency. This morning, the vetting committee of the New Patriotic Party in the Ashanti region have trashed that petition that was filed against Mr. Same Bimfo Dakwa. In fact, the constituency executives alongside the Member of Parliament alleged that Mr. Same Bimfo Dakwa is not a member of the constituency and has not been partaking in the activities of the New Patriotic Party when it goes to the constituency, that is a Sokore Adansi Asokwa constituency. But then when Mr. Same Bimfo Dakwa came up or faced the vetting committee, the committee managed to trash the petition that was leveled against him. And so for that, we can say it has ended peacefully. And so today we're expecting about 17 incumbent members of parliament to pass through the vetting process today. And some constituencies, I must say, are Offenso South, Bekwai, Odotobri, Kwabri East, Offenso North, and Subin. That is for the Asokwa constituency. And also here at the regional party office, we are expecting we had Kwadaso passing through, and then now Asante Achem Central and Asante Achem South, they are having their vetting inside the auditorium, and then Swame did pass through not long ago. And then also Bantama came early in the morning. Achuman Wabija South also did come in the morning. Achuman Ponia left not long ago, and also Bosome Freon, Efija Kwabre South, and then Jabin constituency also passed through the Ashanti regional office of the governing New Patriotic Party. And not long ago, Member of Parliament for the good people of Subin, Eugene Onchi, was here. He came to the party office in the Ashanti region to go through the vetting process and also the balloting process. And so he left not long ago. What we can report at the moment is that the Asante Achim Agogo Member of Parliament, the Honorable Andy Apiakubi, is going through the vetting process. And so at the first floor of the Ashanti Regional Head Office of the New Patriotic Party, we have Honorable Andy Apiakubi. And so his supporters are seated here waiting for him to go through the process. And so when he is done, we'll definitely get in touch with him. And so Kwadwo Bam, the former Member of Parliament for Asante Achim Agogo, is also up there, and he will be entering the conference room where the vetting will be taking place right after Honorable Andy Apiakubi takes his turn to the vetting room. And so later on, we'll also hear from the Honorable Kwadwo Bam and also Andy Apiakubi. But I must say that it looks fierce for the Member of Parliament for Asante Achim Agogo, because unfortunately for him, he has about 4 people competing with him for the Asante Achim Agogo seat. For Subin, there are 3 alongside Mr. Eugene Enchi. And also for the Bantama constituency, the Honorable Member of Parliament, Francis Asenso-Boakye, who doubles as Minister for Housing, is also going up against the brother of the former presidential aspirant on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party, Kennedy Ohine Japan, who is also known as Raphael Japan. So it will be head-to-head at the Bantama constituency between Francis Asenso-Boakye and also Raphael Japan. So at the head office of the New Patriotic Party, it was a tense and a fierce atmosphere here, as supported thronged the head office in a jubilant mood alongside their preferred candidate as they proceed into the vetting, day 2 of the vetting for these aspirants. We are told, as I said earlier, that the vetting is ending today, and so right after today we'll get to hear from the vetting committee on how the process has been since it began yesterday. And so we'll get interactive with the chairman of the New Patriotic Party in the Ashanti region, Bernard Inchibuasiakom. Already he has told us that each and every constituency has a member of parliament, with incumbent member of parliament, has somebody competing with them. And with exception of some 5 constituencies, including the Bosomte constituency, the constituency of the Honorable Minister for Education, Osei Yao Edutum. Aside these 5 constituencies, each and every constituency with incumbent members of parliament or the ticket of the New Patriotic Party have others contesting the incumbent MPs. For Chairman Inchibuasiakom, this is a strategy for the New Patriotic Party to win all the seats in the Ashanti region, including that of the NDC, that is Efijase, Edrasecho Dumase, and also Bosome Freon, alongside Asewase, that constituency that has been for the NDC for quite some time now. And so if you could hear the MPP make mention of constituencies with members of parliament and also aspirants competing with them, this means that for the Ashanti region, it is a strategy to win more seats for the MPP and also or subsequently win the presidential election come December 7th. For now, we have all the aspirants inside the auditorium or the conference room, and so we'll not get some of them to talk to. But then this is what is going on here, what has transpired since morning and up to now as I'm talking to you, Blessed. And so if we get the Asante Achim Member of Parliament, the Honorable Andy Apiakubi, would interact with him. If we also get Kwadwo Bam Redu, would also interact with him. But for now, we know that both of them are up there. Andy Apiakubi is inside the conference room as he's going through his vetting. Kwadwo Bam Redu is also waiting for the vetting committee to call him to also go through the process. And so since morning up to now, this is how it looks like at the head office of the New Patriotic Party. I must say that the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Henry Nana Boakye, has commended the Ashanti regional executives for putting up a massive vetting process, and so for him this process has been smooth. We'll definitely bring you up to speed details as to what Henry Nana Boakye had to say about the vetting process at the end of it all. So right now we'll be moving on to the Asokwa constituency from here, where we are being told that retired COP Alex Mensah came through for his vetting not long ago. Retired COP Alex Mensah is seeking to become member of parliament for the good people of Bekwai constituency. He wants to fill in the shoes of the Deputy Speaker of Parliament Joseph Osei-Wusu, who is not contesting again. And also for Swami, where Techiman North is not contesting again, we have 5 others seeking to become members of Parliament for Swami constituency to fill in the shoes of the current majority leader, Techiman North. And so, Blessed, if you ask what has happened throughout the day here at the party office, this is what we have witnessed at the NPP Ashanti Regional Head Office, where we've had about 17 incumbent members of Parliament pass through for their vetting process. And so this is the situation on grounds. Over to you, Blessed.
My colleague Nanaya Obachi-Adam, there in the Ashanti Regional Capital for us, monitoring all of the developments, and it's been a busy day for the New Patriotic Party. We'll get my colleague Ken JC, who's also been monitoring developments here in the Greater Accra region. But first, lots of development in the Ashanti region. I want to bring in now Samit Binford Dakwa. He's one of the aspirants going into the primaries of the New Patriotic Party, and yet again, it's been rocked with a number of issues, also including a petition that was filed by the Member of Parliament for the area. We'll get into the details for you shortly. But I want us to get a sense of what's happening in the Greater Accra region. My colleague Ken Jesse is here with us, joining us live from where the Greater Accra regional executives have been holding this vetting.
Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte was also here, and they all were vetted. Unlike yesterday, nobody was disqualified today, at least as far as we are aware. So today we're here with the incumbent Member of Parliament for Amasaman constituency, Akwesi Efrifa, who is very confident that he can retain the seat for the MPP. Honorable, you're live on Joy News.
Thank you.
Right.
My full name is Akwesi Efrifa.
Right.
Yes.
And then you're being contested.
Yes.
A fierce competition, if I'll call it. Are you scared that Amasaman
I don't know how you know what you term by a fierce competition, and I don't know if you know my constituency. If you know my constituency and you know my people, you won't describe it as a fierce competition. Right. If you are there, you won't describe it like that.
That means it's an easy one for you?
Yes, it's an easy one.
What makes you think so?
I have been in the constituency for I have been an MP for the last 3 years. I am with my people. My people are with me. I know my people know me. So I know what my people will do for me on the day of elections.
You succeeded an NDC MP, so that means that is a swing constituency. Are you worried that in a swing constituency like that you are being contested instead of being allowed to go unopposed?
I am not. My party, the party I joined, NPP, we believe in democracy, and every 4 years, whoever you are, even the majority leader, has been contested over the years. So I'm not worried. That is the rules of the game.
And your opponent is not a threat to you?
I don't see him as a threat, no. Okay. I don't see him at all.
Okay, thank you very much. So that is Akwesi Efrifa Mensah, the incumbent Member of Parliament for Amasaman, who is very confident of 1, passing the vetting, 2, being the parliamentary candidate for Amasaman, and then representing the MPP in Parliament come 2025. We're still here at Techi in Accra, where the vetting has concluded, and as I mentioned earlier, 8 people were vetted this morning, and it came to a close not long ago. So now we will have a conversation with the regional secretary of the New Patriotic Party, who is addressing the media.
But then all that I know was that she was throwing insult left and right. I don't know whether she will also be appearing before the National Parliamentary Appeals Committee.
I want to ask you, the Member of Parliament for Weja Gbawe, Tina Mensah, made some suggestions that she wanted her opponent to be disqualified, sent a petition and all that, but then it was withdrawn later because the opponent hadn't lived in the constituency for some number of years. Did it come to your notice?
Well, yes, we were served with that petition. The truth of the matter is that I am a typical gun, Bukum boy. And now I really Mensah is also a Ghana. And then Jerry Ahmed Shaibu is also a Ghana. And then per the national constitution, which overrides our party constitution, says that if you are an indigene, you are allowed to contest. You are allowed to contest any part of your region. So Jerry Ahmed is an indigene. So with the petition they brought, from day one, I have been advising them that this thing will not work. They didn't listen. So there was a petition. They didn't withdraw. We went through the petition and then we told them what we have to tell them. So as I'm talking to you, Jerry Ahmed has been declared to go for the contest because he is more than qualified to contest in Wejagbawe.
So if I understand you clearly, if you are an indigene of the place, regardless of whether you've lived there for long or not, you can still be allowed to contest.
Yeah, apart from that, Jerry Ahmed, if I don't know at all, the mother which gave birth, Jerry Ahmed, when he was in the law school, was staying in Sampaland, which by then was part of Wejagbawe. Now, Sampaland is in Botiano, English Amanfo. Jerry himself is having over 3 properties in that constituency. I know where he resides in McCarthy Hill. He has 2 houses in McCarthy Hill. So how come then do you come to say that he doesn't live in a constituency? Will the MP tell everybody in the NP, will the member of parliament say that she is aware of everybody in the party where the person lives in Wejagbawe? So you may not know all. Myself, my father is having 2 houses in Wejagbawe. When I decide to run Wejagbawe, can she tell me that I'm not coming from that constituency? So I told her that she should stop the noise because the vetting committee will deal with the issue, and we've dealt with the issue to make sure we have the right people to contest on our ticket. She had it 4 years ago on the post. Does not mean you will use what the guns call Takashi to go on the post again. We will not accept that. She should go and focus on her campaign to win. At the end of the day, it's the police station executive who will decide whether you are fit for the job, whether you have done what they expect of you. But it's not a member of parliament who will decide for the regional party or the national party.
Right. Thank you very much. How many people are expected to be vetted tomorrow?
Well, we are done with the vetting. We've done so far 31. 3 has been disqualified. And then 28 have been cleared to go for the contest.
All right. Thank you very much. Right. So, Blessed, that's it. The vetting has come to a conclusion, as the man mentioned. It's ended. All of them have been vetted. 2 people were disqualified. And we're going to probe further, bring you more information concerning this particular vetting. Back to you in the studio.
And of course, it's indeed been a busy day for the governing New Patriotic Party. Lots of issues developing. I want to bring back now Sami Benfodakwa, who was talking about earlier. Lots of issues happening in the Ashanti region regarding his constituency. That's the Adansia Square area. Let's get more from him. Of course, he's joining us now. Thank you so much, Sami, for spending some time with us. We've heard that the incumbent MP for the area, Katie Hammond, has filed a petition against you, challenging and, of course, raising some new allegations about your eligibility. What's, first of all, your response to some of these concerns emerging?
Thank you very much, my brother, and good afternoon to our viewers and listeners as well. Yes, they basically raised 2 issues. One, they claim that I have not contributed to the development of the party within the constituency the past years. This allegation or charge is being put forward by the constituency secretary, Sam Olawi, who says that he's been executive for the past 12 years. In the past 12 years, he has never seen any contribution I have made in the constituency. The second charge is that I had brought a pickup to the constituency to be used to help push the 2020 elections. And according to them, I brought a pickup before I contested for the primaries. And when I lost the primaries, I came back for the pickup. So based on those 2 charges, I should be disqualified from contesting. But you see, it is contradictory. One person is saying that I have never brought anything to the constituency. I've never contributed in any way towards the development of the constituency. Then within the same letter, 1 paper, with the same 1 sheet, they're also saying that I bought a pickup and I came back for it. So which one is true? It's just some kind of a fabrication, somebody's imagination just to put up a case to make sure that somebody goes unopposed. The fact is that 2020, when I contested Honorable Techiman, I was given a pickup by a friend to use for the campaign. I branded it. And after I have finished campaigning and I lost the election to Honorable Techiman, I told them that if I had won, I would have expected people to help me. So I'm helping them with the pickup. That we should use the pickup to push the campaign of Techiman. When they are done, I'll come for the pickup and give it back to the one who gave it to me. They also did a fundraising. I gave 10,000 Ghana cedis. I gave a couple of T-shirts to them to be used for the campaign. When the campaign was done and Katie has won, I went back for the pickup. So they are claiming that because I came back for the pickup, to them it was a donation. And the allegation they are making is that I bought a pickup before I contested, but that's not true. The fact is that after I had lost the elections, then I said that this pickup I used, I'm making available for the party within the constituency. And thereafter, I went for the pickup. 2, they claim that I have not contributed in any way. I don't want to waste your time. You have a lot of things you are following through. Just the last parliamentary presidential primaries, 4th November, that we had, and Dr. Bamia became a presidential candidate. I cooked food. I provided food for every delegate within the constituency, gave it to the chairman and the women organizer. It was publicly announced by the PA that Sameh Benfo has bought this food. I had helped the constituency in several ways. Even sometimes when the constituency chairman is sent to do some assignment on behalf of the party and he's lacking some funds, he calls upon me and I am able to help him to do all that. Right. So yesterday at the vetting, when these allegations were raised and the vetting panel asked me for my response, I provided them with a truckload of evidences to show that I have been a great support to the party. I don't only do that at the constituency. When we're compiling the delegate list for our party, the national sent me to Aswan to go and do that job. And when we're doing the constituency too, the national sent me to Bantama to go and conduct the constituency election in Bantama. So when it comes to working for the party, I do that.
And your decision itself, to contest Katie Hammond, this is by far one of the most experienced hands on the side of the New Patriotic Party in Parliament. What's even inspiring you in the first place to take on that challenge?
Wisdom, if you followed what transpired at Dansia Sokwa in 2020, you'd have realized that the man was saved in an inch, just for an inch, because I almost unseated him. The last minute, some few things happened and everything, and then the man just escaped through the teeth of some lion. He just escaped. And if after we were done, the delegates told me that they would desire to give him just one last chance, 2020. So I said, okay, that's fair deal. Thereafter, I've kept faith with them. I've been in touch with them. I have rode with them. So the last time they gave him was 2020. This time round, the delegates are saying that enough is enough. Let us get a new face for the constituency. Don't forget that the youth are taking over the party. Yesterday, it was very interesting to see the Honorable Katie Hammond was sitting before Henry Nana Boakye, Idi Muhyiddin, and some other youth to be vetted. The youth that people he claimed that do not have anything in our minds. The youth that he claimed that we have hairs are like coconut, which does not have anything. These were the people that were vetting him yesterday.
I mean, to be fair, he later on apologized for that statement.
It doesn't mean that he didn't make that statement.
I see.
Apologizing is different from he making it. You understand? So now he sits before this youth for the youth to vet him, to consider his eligibility, whether he can contest or not. It is time that that's what people are saying, that the youth must take over.
Okay, so here's what I want to know, even as we wrap up this conversation. The way forward, if your party gets to disqualify you, what then happens? You go independent?
Wisdom, I have been cleared. Yesterday, I was cleared by the vetting committee and we balloted. We are 4 people contesting. I'm number 4. Asio, Fanform, Boko. So there's nothing like being disqualified or something. I have been cleared to contest.
I see. Fear delegates or not?
I went through 2020. They decided 56 different votes between me and Honorable Katie Hammond. We'll go through again and see what happens.
And may the best man win, I say. Thank you
for
spending
so
some time with us here on The Pulse. And of course, lots of happenings, lots of developments. We're still monitoring the exercise. We'll definitely bring you some update as and when we have it. Today as well, we're continuing our preview of the year 2024. We're putting the spotlight on the environment. Our guest will be joining us shortly. So we can kickstart, matters relating to illegal mining, which was a major issue last year. But today we're learning that an illegal miner has invaded the Tano Forest Reserve, a key biodiversity spot of international significance, destroying more than 7 football fields of the protected forest in the western region. Chinese inquiries reveal that the Enchi district of the Forestry Commission knew about the mining activity months earlier, but failed to act or trigger the necessary protocols to stop the illegality. Of course, degraded site is worse compared to what they are contact mining and their illegal activity or invasion did to the Tano Nimre Reserve area. Love FM's Erastus Azari Donko has been to the area and now reports.
The Tano Anua Forest Reserve in the Awin municipality covers part of the watershed of the Tano River. It was gazetted as a forest reserve in 1955. Experts say it meets one or more previously established criteria for identified sites of biodiversity importance, including important bird and biodiversity areas. But this evergreen forest is in for its worst nightmare. An illegal miner has already invaded compartments 74 and 75 of the reserve. Large parts of the forest have already been reduced to pits and gullies. The devastation stretches deep into the reserve. Our investigations established that the Enchi District Forestry Commission knew about this nature crime 3 months back. But it was only on November 29th this year that the Enchi Forestry Commission head, Richard Entry, wrote about it to his officers, describing it as an attempted illegal mining. On December 17th this year, his deputy, ADM Felix, led the rapid response team to arrest the miners, 1 Chinese national and his 5 Ghanaian collaborators. They have all since been released on bail and their equipment released to them as recounted by this eyewitness.
At the time they came, there were 2 excavators here working. They did not take any action, but rather asked the illegal miners to take their equipment from the site and leave.
When we visited the reserve on December 22nd this year, we found evidence the miners have not left. We saw signs of continuous occupation and mining.
What we are seeing here is a brand new, unused gold washing plant. And it tells you or gives you the indication that whoever was mining illegally within this part of the forest reserve has no intentions of leaving the place forever. They intend to come back to further deplete this forest reserve.
Contrary to the usual Forestry Commission's rapid operations on illegal miners, power plants and settlements of the illegal miners were left untouched.
You could see where they do the washing and get the gold finally. That is still intact, not destroyed. So this is the engine room where a lot of the operations, the central point of the operations happens. And you ask yourself, why did the Forestry Commission Rapid Task Force that came in here on the 17th of December decide not to burn or destroy this particular place?
I confronted the 2 forest guards tasked to deal with the nature crime in the forest.
Last time I buy and say yes, a rapid phone but so no me say young comra. See it is more build no more no more.
Say who's or more and I think say immediately we should destroy it.
Yes, it's me kwa me bomb manager man by Friday no answer what na crown bit man take action.
2 days after our visit, the Inchi district sent forest guards to go and burn the materials left behind. We learned that an NPP executive in the area was responsible for the mining in the Tano Anua Forest Reserve. When we contacted him, he claimed his mining was in a farm-admitted part of the forest. He would, however, not confirm he had a license or any permit for his mining activities. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Tano Anua Forest Reserve, Western Region.
Also, the devastation is on, and it's a good time to zoom into the 2024 outlook, of course, considering matters relating to the environment. Let's speak to Darrell Bosso, Deputy Executive Director, Arocha Ghana, who's joining us via Zoom. Erastus Asaredonko, GJA Journalist of the Year 2022, Ken Ashigbe, Convener, Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining, and Professor Paul Osei Sampene, who is a pathologist and head of the KNUST School of Medicine, joining the conversation. Thank you all for spending some time with us. Erastus, you've been on the ground. The story is not changing, and I'm just wondering what else could be done at this moment.
A lot could be done. We cannot give up at this moment. The fight has just started. What you are seeing is evidence to you that since the LI 2462 was passed by Parliament, which of course is now opening up all forests across Ghana for mining, now a lot is happening in the reserves that we are seeing. We are still compiling. This is just one of them. And this is a protected area where, per our small research, we found out that you can find rare bird species in the Tano Anua Forest Reserve. And you could see, just like Tano Nimre, where Akonta mining entered, you could see the same fashion. This is somebody who has entered this forest reserve and has started destroying it. And so it tells you that what the Lands Ministry has been propagating, that the government has initiated moves to cordon off all forest reserve, is a falsehood. For want of a better word, is a lie. And indeed, many forest reserves are being pillaged as we speak. And in due course,
and just on that point, to be clear, for those who do not get the picture as to where exactly this is happening, this is not the same area you discovered last year.
No, this is not the same area. Where Akonta mining invaded was Tano Nimre Forest Reserve. And in fact, after Akonta mining's invasion, we are still monitoring the ground. Very soon we'll be coming with Forest Under Siege, Tano Nimre, and you will see how that has created an impunity for people to now enter the Tano Nimre Forest Reserve at various sections and start destroying it. But this is within the Awuwin municipality of the Western region. This is Tano Anua Forest Reserve. And so far, we are seeing the first invasion. And of course, these people are illegal miners. I'll call them galamseyers, because when we probed, they were not able to provide us with any license whatsoever, indicating that they have even an forest entry permit to go into the reserve. So this is different from Tano Nimre Forest Reserve. This is Tano Anua Forest Reserve that we are seeing an invasion of it for the first time.
It's about the size of 7 football fields. That's a drastic situation that we need to tackle now. I want to hear from you, Engineer Ken Ashigbe. I recall we started this whole campaign, the Media Coalition trying as much as possible to educate people and also mount pressure on government to act. Why are we not acting? Why are we not getting the results?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And good afternoon. And why are we not getting the results? It's basically because we have failed to act on the various laws that we have as a country that we've put together. Be that it may that we got the Aisha Wang judgment, and for which we need to be grateful. But you realize the fact that the LI that has been passed, is deciding that areas of globally significant biodiversity areas we are allowing the consideration of them. And so are you surprised that the 7 football fields could be destroyed before the Forestry Commission begins to act? These equipment that we've seen in the videos, these are not equipment that you can put in your pocket and smuggle into the forest reserve. This equipment will go through various police posts. These equipment will go through some towns. And there's an MC or there might be a DC responsible for this area. You know, they are also the head of the district mining committee, as well as the head of the district security committee. So how is it that we have all of these equipment going into the forest reserve and all of these people don't see it? And then the Forestry Commission, how is it that they sit, you know, and aloof and see these things happen? Where is the district forestry commission manager? Where is the regional manager? What is it? You know, it's basically the reason why we are not winning this is the fact that we are not holding the people we need to hold accountable. The local people who are in the areas. We are not following the example that Otumfuo has done, for example, by saying that his chiefs that are involved in this, they're distilling them. How is it that the DCs, the MCs who are involved in this particular action are still at post and nothing happening to them?
And here's where critics come in to say that if you're asking that question, it flows all the way to the top. The president says he's putting his presidency on the line for that. We're looking at 2024. Some say there's politically nothing at stake for the president now. He's leaving office by the end of the year. So where do we really channel the energy now?
Well, I think that basically what we're doing is what we need to keep on doing. The media needs to keep on putting the pressure a lot more. It should be more than just the multimedia. We need to get the rest of the media coming in. But myself and the likes of Daryl and all of that, the time have come where we need to move the fight to the next level. I think the time has come for us to start looking for legal, support so that we can start holding accountable, taking to the law court those who have to act and are not acting. The time has come for the likes of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, the likes of the Christian Council, the likes of the Chief Imam, the religious leaders, and the traditional leaders to start saying that enough is enough. You remember that we've sent, together with the CSO group, with Daryl's team, we've sent a petition to Parliament, we've sent a petition to the President. Parliament and the President should look at what is happening. Because of this ally that is in place, and the fact that we don't have any law in this country that prohibits mining in forest reserve, you see the things that we're doing. So we need to go beyond just the advocacy and now trying to explore some legal solutions to this.
And that even reminds me, the petition you sent to the IGP as well.
Yes, and that's an interesting one. So when you have the situation where the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources points a finger to Akonta Mining of being involved in an illegality that is collaborated by the regulator, the Minerals Commission, that has Erastus's work, that has provided you with enough evidence, that has the police itself in Samraboy, intervening in a clash between the people of Samraboy and the staff of Akonta Mining. And you have all of this evidence in place. And it has taken the Director General of the TID how many months to complete investigations so that some prosecutions can happen. And then you then wonder whether we actually have the will to ensure that this ecological terrorism that is being waged upon us, this drive to extinction that we're beginning to see, that is seeing children that now are being born with their hearts on their right side, with multiple phalanges that we're seeing, with the incidence of kidney diseases being on the rise, then you start wondering whether as a people we're serious. And we forget that there was a Ghana before us that has gone extinct. And we are on the quick spiral. And very recently, you remember that Bonsu, for example, the Ghana Water Company had to shut down one of the treatment plants because of the turbidity of the water. And so you wonder why it is that all of these things are happening. So yes, it's true. The case with the IGP and then the Director General CID is still, pending, and nothing has happened to it.
In fact, what's complicating all of this is that we still have the airline in place. And Daryl, I recall last year you did quite an extensive work as Arocha on this together with, Engineer Ken Ashigbe and the others. But are we saying that once we deal with that, we get the law off the books, then we're solving the problem entirely?
Thank you very much, Bless. And I think the points have been well raised by Engineer Ken Ashigbe. And I think the fact is that we really need to take the next step. And like he said, we believe that just by instituting a court case, we need to be able to get the court to really look at the law and make sure that the right thing is done. And that is where we think that if we really can push, and this is where we need a class action, we need all institutions, both state and non-state actors, to really join us to really push this particular case. And we believe that can be done. But there's another, I'll say, hurdle we need to address. We are now seeing the precedent that was set by Akonta Mining, the invasion of Tano Nimiri, the police refusing to do what was right by the law. You have seen another NPP executive going to Tano and taking over. This is a menace that we need to start tackling now. Now, I need to mention that Tano Anwea is one of those forest reserves that has been affected by the LI 2462. So it has presently an active license, and until this law is really repealed, we are going to see this case increase with almost all the forest reserves coming under attack. And I think the best way to go is now seek the pray to the courts to really get this issue addressed.
For you in the civil society space this year, what practical measures would you want to see from policymakers, decision makers on how to fight this menace?
I think what we have seen is that we've seen the police sitting on the fence and watch CSOs, individuals fight this alone. We've had countless incidents where if you even go and report some of these incidents to the police, they just watch you and don't really care much. I think we need to see this change. And this is something we need to see every citizen really go to the police, because they are the gatekeepers. If the law enforcement and compliance agencies are refusing to work, then the citizens have no recourse to relief when it comes to some of these illegalities. We also want to see the government start really applying. Anytime I mention this, I really get sad because I know it's just going to fall on deaf ears. But it's something that must be said over and over again. Act 995 needs to be put to action. We need to also see things at the LI 2462, repealed. The Forest Service Division Executive Director has spoken about this as well, and we need to get this done. We have had the National House of Chiefs also speak against this particular LI. We need to get it repealed. Until we do this, and then again, we need to start restoring our water bodies. And I want everybody going to the polls this year to really challenge our MPs, to challenge the presidential candidates on what exactly they are going to do for the environment and in the next 4 years to come. Until we do that, set the environment as the agenda for this year's election, we are not going to see these politicians commit to anything. And this is something I think that all of us should commit to. It doesn't matter where you are, in your constituency, at the electoral area, we need to start piling the pressure on the aspirants who are going to come to us asking for a vote. Otherwise, our water bodies, our forest reserve, our very well-being is at risk.
And in fact, this demand is not, happening in a vacuum, because there is science proving that indeed the effects of the use of mercury and other, pollutants is impacting us negatively. Professor Policy, this is why I want to bring you in. You're at the School of Medicine, so you're able to tell that indeed science is backing the effects on us.
Yes, thank you so much, my brother. And then let me say good afternoon and Happy New Year to your cherished listeners and then viewers. I'm most grateful that when these sort of things come up, all of us, especially Joy FM and Joy News and all the Joy team is so much interested into the issue, and that we're trying to find answers to that. And like you rightly said, I have been an advocate for some of the things that is happening around us, especially when it comes to humans. Now, animals are also coming in, which of course I'm not surprised at all, because what we eat and what we drink, what we breathe in, animals do same. But of course, the animals get it the worst form because they cannot distinguish between heavily contaminated or heavily polluted waters or heavily polluted food, as we can actually distinguish between what polluted water is in terms of the color and in terms of its what do you call it, turbidity. So basically, I wouldn't be surprised that you will be finding more animals giving birth to such birth defects babies. And then humans, when we are involved, because of the fact that human beings, when they are involved, they cannot be buried with their mothers, we are asked to separate their mothers from the babies. And so therefore, we are able to see them. Otherwise, animals, when we see them as fiction, sometimes we tag and those animals as evil spirits and so on and so forth. That's where my worry is.
So looking forward, how can persons living in some of these communities affected by illegal mining, live a healthy life, try and avoid all of these dangers they face?
Well, it's going to be difficult. As we speak now, I've already made it clear that there is something called half-life, and that half-life of, even if you take, let's say, a tablet of paracetamol, it takes maybe some hours for one tablet of paracetamol to get rid of the body in terms of the way the toxins and other effects of the paracetamol gets rid. So does this heavy metal or these heavy metals. So when it happens like that, it's not going to be easy, my brother. It's not going to be easy. And I believe that Ghana, as it is now, as a pathologist, sitting in my small corner, somewhere at KNUST and Confanoche, and what I'm seeing, I believe that all of us must come together and probably put up a strong word. If we use I believe in our legislature, I believe in our system. But of course, there should be pressure on the system in terms of the governance.
Yeah.
So that the UN come in. They come in and then tell the system that, look, this group of people, no matter what gold, the quality of gold that they are producing, we are not interested in buying their gold. Until they do the right thing, we are not buying their gold. Then they will set up. Otherwise, LI, whatever, 995 or whatever, it will not work.
I see.
It will not work.
This is a very interesting. This is a very interesting.
My brother, I'm very serious about it.
Yes. Hello, Prof.
The line is breaking, my brother. The line is breaking.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just saying that's a very interesting perspective because bringing in international agencies and having them to at least mount pressure on our government is something possibly we could explore. And that feeds into the conversation around COP, which ended the year last year for us. Of course, Erastus, you were there. Darrell was also there. The possibility of having, the international community join the conversation on what's happening in Ghana. For you, what would you, think about, having all stakeholders explore that aspect as well? Because you were there, and your work, for instance, is clear evidence. Erastus?
Well, I wasn't there.
Oh, right. Okay.
I've never been there.
I thought you were scheduled to. Yeah. Okay. Apologies.
No, it was a proposal that was sent to me by the EPA, but I could not go.
Right.
And so I wasn't there. But I would say that it's laughable sometimes when you see how we present ourselves at the COP28, and we make all sorts of promises and trying to bargain, for carbon credits and other things. And indeed, when you come back home, you see the way we are destroying the environment and even contributing to a large-scale climate change. It's so contradictory that it's marks of hypocrisy. This is not something that we should be doing. In fact, when other countries are industrializing and contributing to climate change, and they are leveraging on Africa, that we should be able to do this so they can earn some carbon credits. We are rather destroying our environment for pittance, for nothing in some cases. In this case, for example, you have the people who are invading the forest reserves, do not have any form of license. And so it's a pure illegality. They are stealing the gold, it's going into private pockets. They are leaving behind lots of pits and gullies to be reclaimed. And that reclamation is so expensive. Then we go back to these Bretton Woods institutions to borrow money. That, at the end of the day, the taxpayer who did not benefit from that and is suffering from the environmental decay is going to pay for. That, to me, is sacrilege. It's something that we shouldn't be doing at all. And so far, you see the attitude of government that it's like nobody's caring, nobody cares, nobody's talking about it. It's like a very big issue, but nobody is even raising an arm or lifting an arm to do anything about it. That is so bad. And I think that all media houses should, at this moment, get on board. All well-meaning Ghanaians should not sit on the fence like we are doing. We should start talking, because at the end of the day, we are going to face the consequences.
Right, but Daryl, I'm setting that you are at COP28, right? So you're able to feed in, positively into this conversation of possibly having the international community waiting now.
Yes, Blaise. I think Erasto did mention some very good issues concerning our posture at the international community. And if you recall, at the COP, Ghana was able to secure already some financing related to forest deforestation, addressing deforestation and forest degradation. One of them has to do with the Forest Conservation Leadership Partnership, for which Ghana chairs with the US. And I think it talks about how Ghana is going to stay committed to protecting our forest reserves. And like Erasto said, if at the international platforms we speak so beautifully, and then when we come back home we just do the opposite, then it's marks of lack of commitment. And that is something that I think we should all call out the government on. They are failing in Ghana. They go to the international community, they speak well, they say all sorts of things, they do very good, smart PR, and when they come back home, they do the opposite. And this is why we think that all of these international bodies should call out Ghana on the other things that they are not doing. Because we sometimes also think that some of these international bodies are somehow also culpable in supporting our government to misbehave as they are doing. I know sometimes the issue of sovereignty comes in, but when things are not going right, it is the citizens of Ghana who suffer. Now, Blaise, let me draw your attention to this issue of the emissions levy. And if you look at some of the justification, even for passing something like the emissions levy, it is coming out of the fact that as Ghana wants to really start working towards our obligation to the Paris Agreement, clean our environment, and also look at electric vehicles and supporting the industry. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, who is going to bear the brunt of the extra cost that the transportation sector is going to impose on people? It is the poor people. So if we are destroying our forests and also destroying our water bodies, it is the very poor Ghanaians who are going to suffer from this. So you don't go in the international community, promise and talk about climate injustice, and come back home and perpetuate the same injustice by watching unconcerned as our rivers and forest reserves are destroyed. Because if the rivers are destroyed, it's the local people who have to spend more money to buy sachet water or treated water. If the forest reserves are destroyed, temperature levels are going to increase at the micro level, and they have to now spend money to get air conditions and all of that. It is the local people who are going to suffer. And that is where we think that our government has not done right by the people. They speak well at the international level, at the international community level, on platforms, but when they come back home, they perpetuate the very injustices. They go out there and demand that they do the right thing. And until we deal with that, and I think I agree with Erasto by saying that Ghanaians should call out our government where they are failing, failing to treat our water bodies, failing to protect our forests and protect us against the vulnerabilities that climate change is going to bring. Until we do that, we are not really going to make any headway in building a sustainable country.
Right. Engineer Ken Ashigbe, let me take your final thoughts on, other openings. Of course, government has announced plans to now mine lithium, which is obviously another issue that we'll be battling with in the coming years. What steps do we take to ensure that we don't go down the path of what's happened in the gold mining sector?
Well, thank you very much. I'm happy with the conversation that has happened with the lithium, where Ghanaians are beginning to say, we've done this mining and benefiting only from royalties for too long. After 60-something years, we need to start changing the paradigm so far as mining is concerned. We need to be able to go the way the likes of Dubai and all of them have gone, where there's ownership actually of what is being mined, which would just mean that for all of us as Ghanaians, there has to be a paradigm shift. We should be ready to put our mouth where our money is, be able to pay, and spend money on some of the explorations that you might do, some of which you might shoot and then you might miss. But I think that the time for dealing with this particular issue, challenge of environmental degradation, head on. And I think Daryl and Erastus have talked about going to, the so-called development partners and start asking people, so for example, the IMF, how is it that the IMF is sitting and is going to give us 600 million cedis, and we might have to spend some of that money to be able to go reclaim, forests that have been destroyed, where Ghana is not benefiting, for it. How is it that we're sitting and then, we know the places that are buying this this blood gold, which is poisoned, and we're not doing anything about it. So I think it's true. Apart from the legal action, we need to also start talking, against those countries that are buying this, smuggled gold. We need to start asking our development partners to also say that you need to be telling government that you cannot continue, keeping a blind eye to this rate of your forest and then still coming to us. So how is Ghana chairing this particular committee? How are we co-chairing it? When we're sitting and then we are allowing forest, 7 football fields to be destroyed under our very nose. And it would take a journalist to go and tell them that, why didn't you destroy the equipment that you found in that particular space? How is it that we know that the laws exist, that when you find somebody who is engaged in illegal mining, the equipment are supposed to be confiscated, you discharge with the case before, then the court will decide what happens to those equipment. So who is sleeping on the job? And how come we are not calling these people out? So I am asking the CEO of the Forestry Commission, he should be asking questions of his district, manager and the regional managers. Right. I'm asking the president that the MCE or the DCEs in this particular community, we should be asking questions of them. The IGP should start also asking questions. The challenge that we have, it's a national challenge, but it has to be solved locally. The problem is in a particular locality, and there are various people who are still involved in this particular cancer. So I think that the time for all of us to act is now. And the leadership of this country, very generally, should stand up. Those of us who are keeping quiet and allowing these things to happen, we should also know that we are as complicit as those people who are actually involved in it. So in the coming days, from the media coalition, working with people like Daryl's group, Arocha Ghana, working with people like Occupy Ghana and all of that, I'm sure we would be moving to the next step. And we will need legal support. So all lawyers who also are touched by this and can help us, please come to our support so that we can start mounting the pressure locally in our local courts, and then also start petitioning international bodies to say that this ought to change. And definitely, in this particular election, we need to be asking the parties that are going to be running that, what are you going to do differently to resolve our problems? And we need an environmental manifesto that spells out clearly, in particular terms, action terms in terms of what you're going to do. We don't want to see any political parties now going around to these places and say, when we come, we would allow you to do it. That should not happen this particular time.
Right.
So we really need to ask all our political parties to give us their manifestos, and we should then hold them accountable when they come into power.
Interesting days ahead, and I'm grateful, Engineer Ken Ashigwe, to Daryl, and to you, Erastus, for spending some time with us, and also to you, Professor Osie, for spending some time with us here on the polls. But I need to also point out that this whole issue about illegal mining is also affecting, wildlife, right? So let's bring in Dr. Benjamin Kisi Sasu. He is a member of the Risk Communication and Mobilization Ghana Veterinary Service Directorate, joining us with his thoughts on this as well. Thank you, sir, for spending some time with us. We're just learning of a bizarre story, actually, with some deformities in an animal that was identified in a certain community earlier today. Residents saying it's a spiritual matter, some saying this might be matters relating to illegal mining. Your take on what's happening, and possibly if you're starting any investigation soon? Unfortunately, I'm unable to hear you. If you could just unmute for us so we can get the point you're sharing with me, sir.
Yeah, if I heard you right, I'm speaking for veterinary services, and this issue about illegal...
Are you with me, sir?
Hello?
Yes, right.
Great. So speaking for veterinary services, the competent authority in charge of animal health and welfare, there's a need to make some contribution to this discussion. When we come to the effect that is happening in terms of illegal mining to communities, not only just the wildlife, but we also have animal food, like the sheep and goats and the poultry, the piggery. These areas are where people are into rearing of these animals. And just what we are seeing with this deformation, which Prof. Sampini, the pathologist, talk about, this is showing that what we are eating, we need to even see the residue. And it's good that veterinary services have gotten a National Food Safety Laboratory, which now testing what is entering the country in terms of bacteria, and also looking at testing the residue. And this illegal mining issue is raising a lot of concerns, because this area, we found out that a lot of animal production is also ongoing. And as Professor Perry said, these animals cannot tell between clean water and dirty water. And we will be taking this water, and these are some of the effects we are seeing. For us, that we are feeding on these animals, what is really happening to us in terms of our liver and kidney.
And with this very story that we're hearing of, I'm asking if you're going to investigate that.
Please, can you repeat?
I'm just asking about the latest we're hearing about the deformity. Are you going to investigate that case?
Okay, now I can hear you. I lost you. Can you repeat?
I was just saying that with this latest case we're hearing of about the deformity, are you going to investigate that as the veterinary service?
Just before the call, we have tried to pull veterinary people in terms of School of Veterinary Medicine, Kenya University and Legon. They are looking at getting these carcass, and looking at what really happened. If possible, other ways can be done, and for us to publish to the public and also inform policy. So this is what is being discussed this afternoon on the veterinary community in Ghana here, looking at these issues.
I see. Is there any caution to residents in the area on a possible consumption of this carcass? Because some don't see anything wrong with it.
Yes. Unfortunate thing is that when people consume animals that maybe they may be slaughtered, maybe they are not dead or deformed like this, and they try to consume, they may not see the residues on all those things. For now, we would like to throw caution to all farmers in these areas that they need to get good water, which is safe for all the animals that they are using, they are rearing for production.
Right.
The sad reality is that some of these animals may even get the chance to be entering into other areas that mining is ongoing. And as a directorate, we are able to look at even giving up movement permit of these animals and animal food products from these places to other areas. What we need to do. These are issues that we want to quickly look at. And what is happening there, we want our veterinary team over there to be available to visit, to help to assess the situation.
All right.
For now, we want to advise all farmers in those areas that they should not just say it is free water. Once they know it's dirty, they themselves cannot drink. They should not just be giving to these animals.
Right. We're grateful for your time, and thanks, Dr. Benjamin Kisi Sasu of the Vet Service, for spending some time with us here. on the pulse. And we know that a young mother whose child has been struck with a rare disease commonly described as water in the brain is appealing for help to help with the treatment of the 2-year-old daughter, Vida Edobia, a resident of Nkranza in the Bono East region, explained that her husband left her because of the daughter's condition, and she's since been struggling to raise an amount of money needed to conduct surgery on her, and therefore is appealing to the public for support. I will definitely get that for you shortly, but you're watching the polls with us here on the Joy News channel. There's more coming your way, including the attention we're paying to the vetting of the new patriotic party, which is happening across the country. We'll get you some updates. Plus, the 90s jam is also cooking. Here at Joy News, we'll tell you about what's likely to happen and why you need to be there as well. Please stay. The Ashanti region, because there's quite a lot happening there when it comes to the new patriotic party's vetting, which is underway. We can now listen to Andrew Appiah-Kubi, who's done with his vetting now. A lot of jubilation there, and we see the fans of this incumbent MP also there at the regional headquarters of the new patriotic party. Nana Yaobachi Adam is still there for us. Nana, take us away. What's happening now as we speak?
At the moment, we have been told that the Member of Parliament for Techiman North, Andy Appiah-Kubi, is done with his vetting, and alongside his opponents. So they are all done with their vetting right now. Later onwards, would have aspirant for Swami constituency go through the process. And so for now, what we are waiting for is the Member of Parliament for Techiman North, Andy Appiah-Kubi, to come out of the vetting room so that we can have an extensive interaction with him on the vetting process, what is ahead of him on January 27th, and also subsequently on December 7th, 2024. We already know that some issues have come up from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. We are hoping that when Mr. Andy Appiah-Kubi comes out of the vetting room, would get him to answer all these questions. But then these are jubilant supporters of Maxwell Ofosubuache and then Stephen Obey-Saka. And so they are also seeking to unseat Andy Appiah-Kubi. And so we have some of the aspirants coming out. And this is the aspirant Stephen Obey-Saka, who is seeking to unseat Andy Appiah-Kubi. So let's get to talk to Stephen Obey-Saka. Honorable, you are done with the vetting. How was it for you? You are done with the vetting. How was it?
Very good.
You are seeking to contest with Andy Appiah-Kubi. He has been Member of Parliament for quite some time now. Is that not a fierce contest for you?
No, I'm fearless.
You're going to win.
I'm fearless. I am for the youth. Okay? I am for the youth. I am coming to rescue the system. I'm coming to save the system. We are coming to increase the vote for MPP. Okay? So, there's no fearless. Human mind is more than an atomic bomb. Okay? Our mind is limited. Our mind is not limited. Okay? So we are going for the seats.
Thank you so much. And that's Stephen Obey-Saka, who is seeking to unseat the incumbent Member of Parliament for Asante-Atim. Madam Kwadwo Ba is also coming out of the vetting room. We definitely have to speak to Kwadwo Ba, a former Member of Parliament for Asante-Atim. Let's get to Mr. Kwadwo Ba and then have an interaction with him. He just came out of the vetting room. Mr. Kwadwo Ba, you're live on Joy News. How was the vetting process?
I think it was smooth. As compared to what I experienced last 4 years, it's very, very smooth.
This is not your first time. Did you meet your expectations today?
I think it was more than my expectation because I'm not somebody who is not known in the constituency. So I've been a member of Parliament before. There wasn't much questions. All they said was how we can help maximize votes. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. We'll definitely come back to you, Mr. Kwadwo Ba Redu. So that is Kwadwo Ba Redu. Now we can see the Honourable Member of Parliament himself, Andy Appiah-Kubi, is coming out of the vetting room. Lawyer, congratulations. You are done with the vetting. How was it? How was the vetting?
Very cool, very cool.
Did you meet your expectations?
Sure.
This is not your first time, and so it was great for you.
It was good.
And And so going forward to the 27 January elections, what should we expect?
We are winning hands down.
You are winning hands down?
We are winning hands down.
But your opponents are also optimistic.
They need to learn.
They need to learn?
Yes, they are in school.
They are in school. All right, I need a word from you. I am sure you've come by the OSP's response to the allegations that were made on some MPs being bribed. What are your responses to that?
I will respond on Saturday.
You respond to that on Saturday. But then a few words on that. How do you find the OSP's response?
A witness is different from an accused person. So it is about law and ethics. And the issues in the report are based on law and ethics. So we will deal with them.
The OSP says that what you said looks quite rehearsed. Is that true?
That is his statement.
And so what are you coming up against? What are you going to do against the OSP from his response?
I will give a rendition of law and ethics on Saturday.
Are you still affirming what you said? Well, do you still stand by it?
He has spoken. I stand by what I said, and he has confirmed what I said. So that's all.
All right, thank you so much. And that is the Member of Parliament for Techiman North, Andy Apiakubi. He has responded to the allegations to the OSP's inability to proceed with the alleged bribery of some section of members of Parliament on the majority side. And so for him, he says that he's going to come out with a vivid response to the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Mr. Kisia Jabin, on Saturday. But then when it comes to the NPP parliamentary primaries on January 27th, the Honorable Andy Apiakubi says that he is winning. So blessed, that is the response from Mr. Andy Apiakubi on the OSP's case, and also on what we should expect from him come January 27th, when the NPP will be having the parliamentary primaries itself. He says that what the OSP says is his own, is not what he stands for. He's still standing by his words. He believes that he is right with whatever he says, and the OSP is even affirming to his accusation. He says there's a difference between an accused person and also a defendant or whatsoever that he made mention of. And so these are the responses of the incumbent Member of Parliament for Techiman North, the Honorable Andy Apiakubi. And so from the Ashanti Regional Head Office of the New Patriotic Party, a charged atmosphere as supporters join their aspirant in the jubilant mood as they proceed to vetting. We spoke to Kwejobam, who says that he's optimistic of victory. And so, blessed, at the moment we are waiting for the aspirant for Swami constituency to also end their vetting, and then would come to an end. For the whole process, I must say, will come to an end today. It started yesterday and it is going to end today. So the last constituency we are waiting for is the Swami constituency, where we would have 4 aspirants going through the vetting. The first person is inside, while we await the 3 others to also proceed into the vetting room for them to go through scrutiny. And so this is the situation on ground here in the Ashanti Regional Head Office of the governing New Patriotic Party. Over to you, Blessed.
And I am watching Adam. Thank the Ashanti Regional Capital Forums. We're also monitoring developments across the country. We'll bring you updates. This is your election headquarters. Motorists and pedestrians who use the airport junction near the National Service Secretariat in the National Capital Accra are appealing to the Roads Ministry and relevant institutions to immediately remove some hedges and billboards lined up at the edges of the road, making it difficult for them to see oncoming vehicles, saving as a recipe for disaster. Hannah Odami has been to the area and now reports.
Mr. H.A. Donato, who has been working near the National Service Secretariat since the year 2007, says almost every week he sees similar incidents, which mostly causes accidents at this junction. He wants stakeholders involved to immediately address the situation.
You see this side, the signboards, they are closing also the view. So they have to remove some, the hedges there, cut it down. So as soon as they read this zone, they can look, see the road clear, and know how to do. That's what I'm saying. So ever since accident upon accident.
A frequent user of this road, Papa, wants the signboard and hedges removed to ensure safety.
Very, very dangerous. See the hedges with the signboards. too bad. Please, you should try and do something about it.
What would you want to be done?
They should clear those things all. It's human life that we are working with.
Pedestrians and cyclists who say they are equally concerned about the inability to clearly see the road before using it are asking for action to be taken.
There are edges, the NIM 3 edges are preventing viewers to see the road clearly. Secondly, they've erected signboards or postboards around the junction, which is preventing you can't see very well. The road is not clear for you to see. One, if they can't erect the traffic light, then the immediate thing they should do is they should remove the posts or signboards, and then they should trim the neem tree so that the road will be clear for drivers to see.
Road safety advocate Obaya Kunedu, though acknowledges the danger posed by the hedges and billboard, cautions motorists to be cautious when approaching this junction.
You're not able to see clearly. You know, you're supposed to stop at the junction, indicate and check your left and your right. If you're going to the left side, if you're going to the right, you check on your right. But if you're going to the left, the hedges are blocking your view. So motorists are tempted to go into the middle of the road, which is not safe at all. And as a road safety person, as an instructor, I would urge the authorities that they make sure that these hedges are cut. I'll also add to it that motorists, yes, we know the hedges are there, but let us be patient and be sure that we have seen the road clearly before we can go.
From the airport residential area near the National Service Secretariat, I am Hannah Odame for Joy News.
And now the Member of Parliament for Techiman North, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari, has kick-started the construction of a College of Education in Tuobodom, a campaign promise she made prior to the 2020 general elections to help promote college education in the area. The institution, when completed, will complement the only existing College of Education in the region, serving over 1 million population of the Bono East region. And Asabit has more.
The new St. Dominic College of Education, a fulfillment of a campaign promise made to the people of the Techiman North constituency prior to the 2020 general elections by the Member of Parliament, lawyer Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari, will, amongst other things, promote academic excellence as well as bring college education closer to the doorstep of the people.
Madam Chair, what we are witnessing today is a vision that resonates with the good people of Techiman North. It is in fulfillment of my campaign promise to the people of Techiman North in the 2020 parliamentary elections.
The MP, who was speaking at a groundbreaking ceremony in Tuobodom to kickstart the project, disclosed that the institution, when completed, would complement college education in the Bono East enclave, which currently has only one college of education in the Atibuba Mountain municipality. The MP was thankful to the Catholic Diocese of Techiman, who offered to release a large tract of land for the execution of the project. District Director of Education, who acted as the chairperson for the occasion, Mrs. Theresa Kwebu, urged school-going children in the area to take their education seriously to enable them climb higher the ladder of education.
Our young men and our young women, we don't have any excuse again to say for reason A, for reason B, I cannot go to school. The school is now at our doorsteps. So we are appealing to our students that we should take the studies seriously, to qualify them, have opportunity to attend school here, so that in future we'll be able to have a youth that is vibrant.
Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Techiman, Most Reverend Dominic Yeboah-Nyakun, was thankful to the Member of Parliament for the move and charged parents to invest in their wards education and avoid spending on material possessions. Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Tuobodom.
Well, just as a form of reminder, you need to join the transformative experience at the convention on the 7th of January at the Independence Square with a star-studded panel including African leaders Julius Malema, PLO Lumumba, Dr. Arikana, and we have Peter Obi also joining this event. Unites 30,000 minds for empowerment and inspiration. Be a part of history. Celebrating a powerful convention of cultures and giveaways and exclusive items. Don't miss this day of unity and empowerment. For free tickets, all you can do is to, of course, log on to newafricanfoundation.org. You can also call 053-238-89032 for more information. That's all we have for you on that convention. But just before we go, one more time, in the next 24 hours, you need to join us for that fun and excitement. It's the Joy FM's 90s Jam, which is back for you to enjoy. 150 Ghana cedis, regular, and 200 cedis for VIP. It's happening at the rooftop of City Galleria. All you need to do is to be a part of that happening, of course, tomorrow. So just grab your tickets and you'll be catching the fun as well. But that's all we have for you here on The Pulse. I'm Blessed Sugan. Log on to myjoyonline.com. More stories there for you. Thanks for your company. Bye-bye.